But hey, you want to travel? Gotta take risks. I've concluded, and I've known this, it's so much easier to stay home. This rough tourism that I do is very challenging. And there on Carrera 7 is that famous name, La Septima. Carrera 7 could be loosely translated as Avenue 7, and La Septima would be 7th. And everybody in Bogota knows what you mean when you say La Septima. Here's something that took me a while to figure out. In Colombia, a carrera is a street that runs north-south, essentially acting like an avenue in English, while calle refers to a street running east and west. As I looked down from the 13th floor of my Airbnb, there was a massive street down below. That was Carrera 7, or the Septima as they referred to it. It was a main artery. Yes, La Septima is legendary in the town of Bogota because it cuts right down from north to south. That Septima that ran in front of my Airbnb in Chapinero ran all the way down to Plaza Bolivar. But at a certain point, it turned into a pedestrian zone. That's what this vlog is about. And that switch to a pedestrian zone happens at Avenida Ciudad de Lima. The thin green line from that point down to Plaza Bolivar is the pedestrian zone, and it's the go-to place in Bogota. I'm now at the Avenida Ciudad de Lima. Avenida Ciudad de Lima. Hello, Patsy. Hi, Patsy. Waving to you. Ciudad de Lima. Saludos a sus padres. En Lima. So my direction is straight ahead. Okay, enough. It's difficult to geographically locate everything, so from here on in, it's just a collage of scenes I saw on the way down to Plaza Bolivar. What I'm walking here is the Septima Carrera in downtown Bogota. That direction. In that direction is the Plaza Bolivar. More things down here. And there's always a panderia artesanal. Very nice. During the video clip, you probably heard the loudspeakers in the background. Well, they're almost at every street corner, and they're so irritating. Speaker blaring.
Sufre dolor de cabeza, migraña, chupe el caramelo de jengibre. Caramelo de jengibre a base de miel, eucalipto, jengibre, limón, menta, canela. Cuidemos nuestras vías respiratorias con el caramelo de jengibre.
¿Me puede perdonar con quién, Garlón?
Sí, ya vi.
Just off the pedestrian street on this park is the Museo del Oro, the Museum of Gold. I'm continuing to enjoy this walk on this pedestrian zone. Just the Spanish verb relajarse, to relax. I'm starting to kick in. And there on Carrera Siete is that famous name, La Septima. It means the same thing, the seventh. And in Bogota, when you mention La Septima, everybody knows what you're talking about.
It's pretty busy here. And I conclude the best way to get around this city is by bicycle. I continue to find the bus system almost impossible to manage. So I'm going to head down this way.
By the way, 2 days later, I did rent a bike near my Airbnb, and I cycled all the way down to Plaza Bolivar. It was delightful.
Even here in this pedestrian zone, you gotta watch the traffic, and the traffic are bicycles. But still, it's nice to be in an area where we don't have cars. Let's have a look at this church.
Okay, now here's a chance for me to redeem myself for my negative review of the Basilica on the Plaza Bolivar. Let's see how I do. Just before I do, I'm at the Iglesia Nuestra Señora de las Nieves. Nieves. Snows? That doesn't make sense.
My first impression is that this church is much nicer than the cathedral on Plaza Bolivar that I saw yesterday. This one has nice colors, stained glass windows. Great color scheme, great color scheme. So this one passes my test, since I'm an expert in church architecture. That was a joke. It's kind of difficult traveling when, after I talked to that woman, I talked to 4 policemen who were standing right beside me. They all said, watch your phone, watch your phone, watch your phone. Kind of puts a damper on traveling when you gotta keep an eye on your possessions. But hey, you want to travel? Gotta take risks. I've concluded, and I've known this, it's so much easier to stay home. This rough tourism that I do is very challenging. Centro Colombiano de Artesanas. I think you can expect handicrafts. So I'll take a quick walk through part of this just to make you feel envious. No, nobody feels envious. Everybody has their own interests, and traveling might not be one of them. You know, here you got the embarrassment of choice to buy touristic trinkets. I never buy any of this stuff, which is not good for the locals, that's for sure. So, I think I'll just put music to the rest of this. Hi. Or maybe just stop taking videos. Let's take a shortcut here. The colors of Colombia. Muy bien, gracias. Not terribly overrun with tourists. I would have to say, well, these 2 guys are tourists. But generally, I'm not struck by a whole lot of tourism here. Hola. Gracias. So, that's the end of the tour. Sprinkled throughout Bogota, you see these super charming buildings, mostly restaurants. I guess this is what things looked like in colonial times. Nice wall mural. Whoa, there's two ladies falling. They're okay. They're okay. They're okay. Juan Valdez is a coffee brand we've heard about for a long, long time, knowing it came from Colombia. So this is just a simple coffee shop. It's got quite the selection of coffees and paraphernalia. But you gotta love that name, Juan Valdez. You may wonder what Juan Valdez looks like. Well, this is the latest version of him. I've seen many versions over the years, but that's what he looks like now. Thank you for joining me on this most famous of walks in Bogota. Yeah, this was really quite something. It took me the longest time to figure out how it all fits together. It seems simple here, but it's really not that simple. And I probably don't even have the story 100% right.